You can rewrite the email, prepare for the meeting, and practice your answer 10 times. Yet the client may still say no, your boss may still disagree, and someone may still judge you unfairly. The hidden cost is not failure. It is believing that every result is yours to control. That belief creates anxiety, anger, and endless mental noise. Stoic philosophy begins with a different question: what belongs to you and what does not? Once that line becomes clearer, you can work hard without letting every outcome control your mood. You will also learn useful English for choices, emotions, and self-control. In How to Be a Stoic, philosopher Massimo Pigliucci brings ancient Stoic ideas into modern life. The tradition began in ancient Greece and later became important in Rome. Thinkers such as Zeno, Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius asked a practical question: how can a person live well in an uncertain world? Their answer was not to escape life, reject success, or stop caring. It was to build a good character while accepting that life will never follow a perfect plan. For the Stoics, philosophy was not mainly a school subject. It was daily training for work, relationships, loss, pressure, and fear. The central idea sounds simple: separate what you control from what you do not control. You control your choices, effort, values, preparation, and response. You do not fully control other people, public opinion, the economy, the weather, your health, or the final result of your work. This does not mean you become passive. Suppose you are preparing for a job interview. You can research the company, practice your answers, arrive on time, and speak honestly. But you cannot control the interviewer's mood, the other candidates, or the final decision. Your job is preparation, not total control. Think about archery. You can train your body, choose the right bow, aim carefully, and release the arrow with skill. But after the arrow leaves your hand, wind and movement may change its path. The Stoic lesson is clear: choose the goal, do your part, then release your claim over the outcome. This is where many people misunderstand Stoicism. They think acceptance means saying, "nothing matters." But Stoic acceptance is active. You care deeply about doing the right thing. You simply refuse to make your peace depend on a result that was never completely yours. The Stoics also made an important distinction between virtue and what they called preferred indifference. Health, education, money, comfort, and reputation can be useful. It is reasonable to prefer them. But they are not the foundation of a good life, because they can disappear through luck, illness, change, or loss. Virtue means strong moral character. It includes wisdom, courage, temperance, and justice. Wisdom helps you see clearly. Courage helps you act despite fear. Temperance means self-control and knowing when enough is enough. Justice means treating other people fairly, not only protecting your own interests. Here is the deeper test. Would you trade honesty for a promotion? Would you betray a friend to avoid embarrassment? Would you damage your health for status? Stoicism asks you to place values in the right order. Some things can be exchanged. Your time can buy a vacation. Your character should not be for sale. But what happens when emotions become too strong for clear thinking? This is where Stoicism becomes more useful and also more difficult. The problem is not that you feel anger, fear, or sadness. The problem begins when your first reaction becomes your final decision. Epictetus taught people to examine their impressions. An impression is the first story your mind tells about an event. A coworker does not answer your message and your mind says, "She is disrespecting me." A friend cancels dinner and your mind says, "He does not care about me." The event may be real, but the judgment is added by you. Judgment means the meaning you give to what happened. The unanswered message is a fact. "She does not respect me" is an interpretation. Stoic practice asks you to pause before you agree with that interpretation. This pause is called withholding assent. Assent means saying yes to a thought and treating it as true. You do not have to believe every thought that appears. You can say, I notice this thought, but I do not yet know whether it is accurate. That small space protects better choices. Consider an argument at home. Your partner says, you never listen. Your first impulse may be to attack the word never. You may collect examples, raise your voice, and try to win. A stoic response begins earlier. You notice the heat in your body, slow your breathing, and ask what part deserves attention. You may still disagree. Stoicism does not require silence or weakness, but it asks you to choose your response through reason and virtue, not through wounded pride. Courage may mean speaking honestly. Temperance may mean lowering your voice. Justice may mean listening before defending yourself. There is another reason people make harmful choices. We often protect our self-image by creating excuses. We say, everyone does it. I had no choice. Or, they made me act this way. These stories reduce discomfort, but they also prevent growth because they hide our responsibility. A person may know that gossip is wrong, yet still share a private message in a group chat. Later, they explain that the other person deserved it. The mind wants to feel innocent, so it changes the story. Stoic wisdom asks a harder question. What choice did I make, and what value did it serve? If this idea is helping you notice one of your own excuses, save this video and return to this moment later. The next time you feel completely justified, pause for 10 seconds. That may be the exact moment when your mind needs the most careful examination. Now we reach the second great Stoic discipline, action. Good intentions are not enough. A person can understand honesty, courage, and justice, yet still act from fear or convenience. Stoicism asks you to practice virtue in ordinary situations, where there is no applause and no dramatic reward. Suppose your manager asks you to hide a mistake in a report. Refusing may feel risky. You might lose approval or delay a promotion. Stoicism does not promise that virtue will protect you from every consequence. It says that consequences do not decide whether your action is honorable. This is why the Stoics saw daily life as training. A difficult customer, a delayed flight, a family disagreement, or a failed project becomes practice. The event is not valuable because it feels good. It is valuable because it reveals your habits and gives you a chance to strengthen character. This does not mean every hardship is secretly wonderful. Pain is still pain. Loss is still loss. Stoicism does not ask you to pretend. It asks a different question. Since this has happened, what kind of person will I choose to be inside it? The next idea is impermanence. Impermanence means that everything changes and nothing stays with us forever. Your favorite object can break. A friendship can change. Parents grow older. Children become independent. Your own body will not always have the strength it has today. Remembering this is not meant to make you cold. It can make you more grateful. When you understand that a moment will not last, you may pay closer attention to it. You may put down your phone during dinner. You may speak more gently because you know time together is limited. Stoics sometimes used a reserve clause when making plans. A reserve clause means, I will do this if nothing outside my control prevents it. You can plan a family trip, but flights may be canceled. You can schedule a presentation, but technology may fail. The plan remains serious, but not absolute. This small sentence protects you from unrealistic expectations. Before a holiday gathering, you can expect traffic, delays, tired children, or different opinions. You still prepare well, but you stop demanding that reality match the perfect picture in your head. Preparation becomes stronger and anger becomes weaker. So how can Stoicism help with anxiety? Anxiety often grows when you demand control over reputation or results. You may enjoy playing music alone, yet become terrified on stage because now you want applause, approval, and proof that you are talented. Those rewards are not fully yours. The practical response is not stop caring. Prepare carefully, practice honestly, and define success by the quality of your effort. Before a presentation, write down 2 columns. In one column, list what you control. In the other, list what you do not. Then put your energy only into the first column. Anger can be handled in a similar way. Someone insults you online. Your first desire may be to answer immediately. Instead, use humor or distance. You might think, this person knows only one small part of me. Then ask whether a reply would protect justice or simply feed your pride. Loneliness also changes when we examine judgment. Being alone is a fact. Feeling abandoned is an interpretation. You can be alone and still connected to your values, work, memories, and community. You can also feel lonely in a crowded room. The important difference is whether you see yourself as helpless. Stoicism does not say that social connection is unimportant. Humans need other people. It says that you can build inner stability while still seeking friendship. Use time alone to read, walk, create, or reflect. Then choose companions carefully because the people around you shape your habits and standards. Even the fear of death is connected to control. You cannot remove death from life. You can only choose how you live before it arrives. This idea may sound severe, but it can also be freeing. It turns attention away from endless fear and back toward today's actions. Let us make the philosophy practical. When something upsetting happens, first test your impression. Ask, what are the facts and what story am I adding? Second, separate control from concern. Ask, what can I choose right now? Third, choose the virtue the moment requires. Sometimes the needed virtue is courage. Sometimes it is temperance. Sometimes justice asks you to protect another person. Sometimes wisdom tells you to stop arguing. The right response is not always soft or quiet. Stoicism is not about looking calm. It is about acting from clear values. When emotion is too strong, stop and breathe slowly. Then use distance. Picture yourself as a good friend watching the situation. What advice would that friend give? This method helps because we often think more clearly about another person's problem than our own. You can also improve your speech. Describe facts before making judgments. Say, he arrived 10 minutes late instead of, he is irresponsible. Say, she answered in a short message instead of, she is angry with me. Clear language reduces false stories and unnecessary conflict. At the end of the day, review your choices for 5 minutes. Ask what you handled well, where emotion controlled you, and what you could try tomorrow. Do not use this review to punish yourself. Use it as training. Honest reflection turns philosophy from an idea into a habit. Before we finish, let us review several useful words from this episode. Control is your power to choose your own response. Judgment is the meaning you add to an event. Virtue is strong moral character. Courage means acting despite fear, while temperance means guiding your desires with self-control. Justice means treating people fairly. Assent means accepting a thought as true. Impermanence means that everything changes. A reserve clause leaves room for events outside your control. These words are useful in English, but they are also tools for noticing your mind more clearly. So what can truly make life better when outcomes remain uncertain? Not perfect control, not endless preparation. The Stoic answer is a better relationship with choice. You prepare, act, and care. Then you stop demanding that the world reward you exactly as you hoped. Try one small action today. Before replying to a difficult message, pause and write one sentence. What part of this is mine? Then choose one response based on wisdom, courage, temperance, or justice. That single pause may change the entire direction of the conversation. If this book gave you a useful way to think, subscribe for more English book summaries about psychology, growth, and practical wisdom. In the comments, share one situation where you want more control over your response, and choose one English word from today that you want to practice this week.